While most people have an impression that extrovertism is one of the celebrity's inbuilt features, not many are aware that big names in the industry were once A-level introverts until they learned the raw truths of persuasion. From effective communication to being witty and humorous, there's no skill on this planet that can't be accumulated with consistency and vigor. And our today's jocular genius, Kevin Hart, has done just that. For the record, Kevin's insanely charismatic personality and effective communication skills have left almost everyone in awe. Not only is he a master of rare techniques to attract people's scrutiny, but he also seems to have cracked the perfect code to make people obsessed with his impeccable humor and presence of mind. So, the burning question is, what is Kevin's secret code? How did he excel in the conversation game? And what makes Kevin Hart a distinct Casanova in the stand-up circle? Now, ladies and gentlemen, here's the deal. Pay close attention to what's about to come, because in today's video, you will get answers to all these questions and learn Kevin's 6 genius and rare techniques to break the ice on a regular basis. So, let's get started. For a quick background check, Kevin Hart is an iconic Hollywood celebrity who climbed all levels of the celebrity pyramid to become the highest paid comedian in the world. Kevin, or must you call him comedy's short king, made his way to the top with his distinct conversational style and hilarious comebacks that had everyone cackling. While it may seem that Kevin is a pro at this game, he wasn't as confident as he is now. In fact, for the longest time of his life, he had an inferiority complex that made him question his existence every day. Growing up in an abusive household took a toll on his mental health and made him dubious of his talents until he started to practice his first principle: confidence is your most reliable friend. Ladies and gentlemen, the way you walk into a room is as important as your ethics of talking and conversing with your awaiting audience. After all, the old school teaching says your first impression is the last impression. While Kevin doesn't necessarily have the most sophisticated stage ethics, each one of his appearances teases confidence and uniqueness in his own quirky way, which is by far one of the top listed qualities people, much rather celebrities, lack. To an extent, Kevin compares confidence with a man's bone structure, which gives him a posture, facilitates movement, and saves his body from collapsing. Now, if you look at the same concept from a much wider perspective, Kevin's subtle yet opaque confidence is his first attempt to break the ice, which pretty much starts when he enters the room or an interview set, and then continues with his gestures. After all, if you are confident and secure within yourself, it will ooze in your conduct and make you stand out, creating a halo effect around you. Not only will this help you intimidate your gathering, but it will also make them want to talk to you and be in your good books. Now, isn't that incredible? Another key point Kevin follows is the 3-second rule while establishing eye contact. This psychological gem immediately gives him the upper hand in a conversation, and boom, he gets to lead the direction of his interviews or interactions in unprofessional settings. Dear celebrity enthusiasts, while confidence is the new black and suits you perfectly, it isn't the only technique to make you swoon-worthy. So here's Kevin's second raw principle that he practices on a daily basis to break the ice: catch them off guard. If you happen to be a keen observer, you must have noticed that Kevin does some of the most random and bizarre things to grab people's attention. It could be his tonality, his accent, or his ornate diction that catches people off guard. Most of these times, he amazes people with his rare experiences and narrates them so well that people get hooked by his humor. And now you know what we're talking about. Celebrity lovers, we know this may sound dramatic, but the conversation starters you choose demonstrate your creative ability. People may get infatuated with you as a result of your questions, remarks, or nuanced observations, which may further lead to open-ended conversations in which one phrase flows to the next, and you are unable to stop talking. You may also attempt the mantra that our favorite bad girl Rihanna repeats every day: fake it till you make it, which is a good option if you have an introvert and dislike delivering jokes. If this fits you, at least give being expressive and sharing insane things a shot. After all, effective communication is 20% what you know and 80% how you feel about what you know. Quickly moving to our following technique, a conversation is a dialogue, not a monologue. Almost everyone is a fan of talking about themselves. In fact, in today's world, people wait for their turn to start talking about their lives and discuss their ambitions and achievements. Please do not be that person, and try to understand that a conversation is not a solo performance. Unlike Kevin's monologues, he is a dialogue man in his real life. He engages in being a good listener and doesn't miss a beat when it comes to roasting himself. After all, nobody should be allowed to laugh at your misery louder than you. But hey, just because you're a good conversationalist doesn't mean you shouldn't try being a one-man army. After all, how can we forget the moments when Kevin delivered some of his best comedy gigs? And of course, those were monologues. Another technique that Kevin swears by is the art of accepting pauses and eliminating fillers. While most people do absolutely bizarre to fill the void, Kevin appreciates pauses and replaces all the yeah, ah, and in his sentences with the two magic words, and yes. This technique is called the slacking method, where you effortlessly escape the awkward zone and establish authority. Our guy Kevin has come a long way, but his success has not turned him into a massive person with an even greater ego. Instead, he has made the conscious decision to adopt humility in his talks, which brings us to the next top-tier approach. Humility will never not be iconic. Since success is fleeting and perishable, it is imperative that one never loses their sense of modesty, regardless of how many great things they do in life. Kevin's remarkable connection with his fellow stars is evidence that he does not let his success make him arrogant, which is one of the most well-guarded secrets. The fact that he never disrespects other people and always responds to criticism in a humble manner, which in turn gains him the respect of those people, is one of the primary reasons that he is the most popular celebrity on the internet. Additionally, he has a heart for his followers, which contributes to the meteoric rise in his popularity. If you want others to feel comfortable around you and continue having discussions with you, you will have to sacrifice your ego and remain humble to the very core of your being. Many times in life, we give importance to the fillers in life, and we neglect the more significant ones. Try avoiding these mistakes and you are good to go. Attention, ladies and gentlemen, you have finally arrived at the most crucial part of the video we have for you today. Thus, it is vital that you pay close attention, since failing to follow this piece of advice will deem every other principle ineffective. Consistency is the key. If you don't implement these strategies on a consistent basis, they won't be effective for the vast majority of individuals. Please make an effort to comprehend the fact that success does not arrive overnight. And similarly, one cannot acquire talent without first engaging in the practice for that skill. Kevin honed his abilities over a prolonged period of time and through a lot of adversity. It is only just and fair that he now gets to bask in the rewards of his work. Remember, consistent today, persistent tomorrow. So here's the place card for today. If you are an aspiring conversationalist or a marketeer, then acing the communication game will only be easy when you tune in and open your eyes to what's around you so that your senses open up. Check out Jim Carrey's tips on that in the next video. After all, communication works for those who work for it.